Hi everyone, Jamie here. I'm going to walk you through how to rinse your regulator after a dive. Your regulator is your life support system, so it's important to learn how to care for it properly. A good rinse is going to get rid of salt, silt, gunk, and anything else that might interfere with it working properly next time you want to use it. The best time to rinse your regulator is as soon as possible after your dive. You don't want salt or anything nasty to dry and crystallize on your gear, at which point it's a lot harder to clean off. If at all possible, hook your regulator up to a scuba cylinder and pressurize it. That way, you can get a really good rinse and don't run the risk of accidentally getting moisture into your second stage. Once your reg is hooked up and your cylinder valve has been turned completely open, give your whole unit a nice, thorough rinse. Be sure to get the first stage really well, including your dust cap. Saltwater loves to find little cracks and crevices, so if your unit has hose protectors, pull those back a bit so you can get some nice fresh water on those connectors. Gently rotate any moving pieces, like those on your second stage connectors and demand dials, to knock off any salt or debris. Don't forget your inflator hose and connector. If you have an integrated computer, console, or SPG, make sure you give those a really nice rinse too. This one will be disconnected for a good freshwater soak later. Finally, rinse your second stages thoroughly. I like to set the hose to a soaker or a stream setting, then point it right into the mouthpiece and let her rip.
Warning, warning, warning.
Never, ever do what I'm about to do unless your regulator is hooked up to a cylinder and fully pressurized. I repeat, never do this with a regulator that isn't hooked up to pressure. Got it? You sure? Okay. With fresh water running into the mouthpiece, purge your second stage several times. This helps wash out anything you've been breathing or burping into your regulator. If you don't have access to a cylinder with air, it's still really important to give your second stages a really good rinse. The important thing to remember in that case is don't push the purge button. If you push the purge button and your second stage has water in the mouthpiece, or if it's submerged, you're going to get water into that second stage and it can find its way up the hose to the first stage. And if your first stage gets water on the inside, then it has a tendency to corrode, which is bad. So be very careful. Don't push the purge button unless your regulator is hooked up to pressure. Once you've completed your rinse, push your second stage purge buttons a few times to expel any excess water. Now you can turn off the air. Before you can remove your regulator from the cylinder, you'll have to depressurize the lines. The easiest way is by pushing the second stage purge buttons. Do this with your regulator mouthpieces facing down so you don't get any water dripping into the unpressurized second stages. Disconnect your first stage from the cylinder, then dry your dust cap, either with a towel or by blasting it with air from the cylinder. Note that this is loud and can startle or annoy your buddies. Now, I've seen new and experienced divers alike blow air into their first stage at the end of the dive, and you don't want to do that. We're just drying the dust cap. That's this piece right here. Don't blow air into your first stage. You could unintentionally force moisture in there by doing that. Besides, your first stage has been hooked up to dry air up until this point, so the only thing we need to dry is the dust cap. Don't forget to put the dry dust cap securely back in place. Now you're done. It's a good idea to gently shake your second stages to make sure you've gotten all the water out of them. Then, hang your regulator up to dry. I like to dry mine on a hanger. Make sure you avoid any sharp bends that would create stress points on the hoses. Thanks for joining. I hope you found this helpful. Until next time, dive safe, dive responsibly, and always have fun.